jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Man, that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, subscribe.
What's going on, everyone? WCS back with another one. Shout out to the first in the building. Tyrese on deck. I forgot they was fighting. Yep, they got a pretty good card too. You know what I'm saying? This is the presser review. Benavidez versus Andrade. Everyone that's tuned in. Shout out to all of you that's on deck. Big salute to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A-side, A-side, A-side. A-side official. No negotiation needed, period. Shout out to Carlos Rosado. He always on it. You already know, brother. Salute to you. One love, man. Show is on deck. What's good? Blessings to you, brother. Big Blunts and Boxing. The GOAT is in the building. Salute to you. Andrew Charles is in the building. What's good? Salute, man. Toby Bartlett, Mr. International, is on deck. Salute WCS in the hottest chat on the YTC. Number one, we're global, baby. We're global. Got the hottest grease and the hottest chat. Talk to him, Toby. You know what I'm saying? Talk to him, man, from across the pond. On deck, man. Shout out to the OG, Mr. Golden, in the building. Let's get to this fight card, man. Okay. We're going to get to the fight card first and then the presser. All right. Because the presser was strangely interesting. You know what I'm saying? It was strangely interesting in a lot of ways. You know, the main presser that include the co-main event and the main event is what I'm talking about. Let's kind of look at individuals that's going to be fighting on the undercard. So if you're starting off with Pablo Vicente, right? Vicente is 23-1. He's going there against Yakubov. This is a super featherweight title bout. All right. It's contained to 130. Yakubov is at 20-1, and Vicente is at 23-1. Now, this is a solid freaking card. You got Vito Melnicki back on deck, 15-1, against Alex Flores, 25-5. This is gonna be a super welterweight fight. You know what I'm saying? At 154. You have Blancas 7-0 going in there against Santana 10-3. That's going to be a super middleweight contender 168. Then you have Mercado 9-1 going in there against Wesley Rivers at 4-3. Super lightweight contender at 140. And then you have the rising prospect of Mayweather Promotions, Carmel Moulton, 1-0, coming to him for his second professional fight against Hunter Turbyfield, 3-0 at featherweight, which is a 126. That's going to be a 6-rounder, man. Moulton in his second fight is doing a 6-rounder. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? And his first fight was a 4-rounder. So they moving him up to 6-rounders already. Whoo, that kid got a lot of landscape to cover, boy. It's going to be a hell of a ride for him, though. Chalette, 8-0 against Perez, 6-0. That's going to be a 135 lightweight. And then Holly against Medina is going to be a 1-0 fighter, Holly, going against an 0-1 fighter, Medina. And that's going to be at the bottom of the undercard. Now, if you want to look at the main card, this is going to be extremely interesting and competitive. Real talk. Because we got some hitters, y'all. We got some hitters. We have Sergey Lipinets going in there against Michelle Rivera. Michelle Rivera lost versus Frank Martin, Mr. And he moved up to 140. So Michelle Rivera is at 140 now. He's going to be facing Sergey Lipinets. You know, Sergey, he moved down from 47 after having several fights up there, back down to where he was previously at 140. That's going to be a good fight. Real talk. Then you have Jamar Charlo, who's the WBC middleweight champion, 32-0. He's going in there against Jose Benavidez Jr., who's 28-2-1. His only 2 losses came at the hands of Terrence Bud Crawford and Danny Garcia. This is going to be contended at middleweight. And then you got Hector Luis Garcia, 16-1, going in there against Lamont Roach. Super featherweight, y'all, 130. You know, Hector Luis Garcia, 16-1, Lamont Roach, 23-1. And then, of course, people was waiting on this fight. Subriel Matias, who's, you know, currently the IBF World Super Light Champion. He's going in there against Ergashev, and who's 23-0. This, you know, that should be a very solid fight. Like, this is a heavy card, man. This is a sleeper. I don't know. This is a heavy card right here. People just been talking about Benavidez Andrade, but the names that's on the undercard. Yeah. You know what it is, Blunts. Hey. And of course, the main event, the headliner, the championship showcase at super middleweight, undefeated. You have David Benavidez, 27 victories, 0 defeats, versus Demetrius Andrade, 32-0. Both of these guys said they will come out victorious. So that's where we get to the presser, y'all. We get to the freaking presser and kind of talk about some things, all right? First of all, let me start by, should nobody have any type of, you know what I'm saying, like be shocked that Jose Benavidez jumped out his seat and wanted to go over there and like start some trouble with Charlo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've seen this with his brother David Benavidez when he was fighting Caleb Plant. But the weird part about it is that when he got out of his seat, the run over there and charged Charlo, like they let him walk over there. Like all that security over there just let him walk over there. And he could have went over there and swung on him if he wanted to. But Charlo, Charlo was sitting there on his best behavior this time. You know what I'm saying? But Benavidez, this is the second time he got up and went over there. The first time he was damn near over there where Charlo was sitting, bro. I couldn't quite understand how that's working. You know what I'm saying? Like, where was the security at? All that shit. What's up with that? I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm saying to myself, okay, so Jose Benavidez, gets out of his seat. David Benavidez was hyped up and everything when he fought Caleb Plant in the press conference. He was talking about meeting somebody, meet me outside. You know what I'm saying? Catch me outside. He was trying to fight he was trying to fight Caleb Plant in the parking lot. Real talk. So now it was his brother's turn to get out of his seat and try to run over there and act like he was going to put hands on Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't quite get that because they have to fight this week. They have to fight. Now, the wild part about Jamal Charlo is that he was on pretty decent behavior. You know what I'm saying? He was up there. He wasn't rowdy. He wasn't rambunctious as he usually is. He was still talking his shit, though. He was talking his shit. He was letting them know I'm Big Charlo and I'm here. He was talking his shit to him. And he was saying that Jose Benavidez is small and all that. And Benavidez responded with, okay, if I'm small, why is that a catch weight? You know what I'm saying? Why is the title's now on the line? And Mark Charlo said, you're not even ranked. You're not even ranked. But still, you're fighting him, though. He's not a ranked guy, but you're fighting him on your return. And Charlo's been out for like 30 months, they said, right? That's crazy. This man has been out. Well, one thing I did notice about Charlo was, like I said, his mannerisms was monotone. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really elevated with his temperament this time around. His eyes is giving me different vibes. Like, what is his eyes about? It just seems like he got the sleepy look. I don't know. It could be medication. It could be anything. But it seems like his eyes had the sleepy look to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, put the other thing in there. Like people always want to say he drinking and all that. I don't want to put that in there. He didn't sound like, look like he was drinking. He had been drinking. It just seems like something else. Maybe he's tired from training camp or something like that. But you looking at the picture, he looks a little weary a little bit, look a little snoozy. And hopefully everything is okay. The fight is definitely going down real soon this week. And I don't know if his brother Mel Charlo was there with him, but when they continue to trash talk one another, and when Jose Benavidez was standing up, somebody from the crowd would start talking, shit to Jose Benavidez. I can't say it was Mel Charlo because he never came up in the camera view. I don't know if it was somebody just on Maul's team who was talking trash back to Benavidez, but they was the life a little bit of the presser. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Jamal Charlo had on, but he was at the press conference. His hair is the same. You know what I'm saying? He's just looking the way he's looking. I ain't mad at him. He seemed confident that he's gonna go in there and stop Jose. He considered him to be a small fighter, so he's gonna take care of it. He said, "I'm gonna treat you like a small fighter tomorrow." So I'm looking to see, outside of the sparring that I seen him in down there, Bodyhead Island, I'm looking to see him in the ring. And with the pressure that Jose Benavidez is usually there to bring to his opposition. Of course, he has to understand that Mar Charlo is a lot more stronger than Danny Garcia, who he faced at 154. He's a lot stronger. You know what I'm saying? And he's been in there with some true middleweights. So y'all keep your eyes open for that fight. That's going to be interesting right there. Jamal Charlo going in there against Jose Benavidez. And when they did the face-off, y'all, yeah, you can tell the significant size difference in Jamal Charlo comparable to Jose Benavidez. And the fight is going to be contended at 163, from my understanding. 163. So that's where we at with that. The man himself, Demetrius Andrade, to me, and you can say what you want, he was talking the most trash today. You know what I'm saying? He was letting people know that I feel good. You know what I'm saying? I had a great camp, but I couldn't quite understand some of the shit he was talking. Like, this is a different Andrade. Like, he was sitting up there talking a whole nother dialect. He was talking about groovy and all this, but yet, you know, he kept it professional. He kept it, you know, in a just joking, or somewhat in a jovial manner. But he was just trash talking. Hey, I'm ready. I ain't gonna lie. Demetrius looked good for 168. Like, he seems like he's not overtrained. He don't seem like he's carrying too much muscle. I know it's gonna depend when he goes in there and start the rounds. Okay, I understand things are gonna change when, you know, out of a 12 rounder, when the 3 minutes keep ticking off and the rounds keep passing, expiring round for round for round. I know it's gonna get different, but right now he seems in great spirit. And there's many people who believe in that Andrade can go in there with the upset with David Benavidez. David Benavidez, aka the Mexican Monster. The dude can fight, man. I'm trying to still see if Demetrius can fight. I've seen him box. Yes, I've seen him box, but I want to know, can he fight? Because Benavidez, man, he's squared up in front of you. And I just, you know, I'm just very curious to see Demetrius Andrade and how he handles that squared up pressure and activity that David Benavidez brings to the fight. That's what I'm curious about. I'm curious how he handles a true big super middleweight like Benavidez. That's a big super middleweight, bro. And of course, Andrade on snack and everything, that's not going to be enough to handle the natural size and strength of Benavidez and that pressure and his volume of punching. I'm curious. I'm curious to know how that's going to play out. But also, I'm looking forward to a Demetrius Andrade who looks like he's ready. He's confident to go in there for the upset. For real. He looks like he's primed to go in there and give the people one of his best performances ever. And I don't like sitting up here predicting in a fight like this. I don't know. I know David Benavidez is capable of landing some good power punches. But then again, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, when it comes to Andrade facing Benavidez, does he have enough? Does he have enough, you know what I'm saying, mustard on there? Does he have enough underrated power to land that shot on Benavidez? We're going to see, bro. We're going to see. Real talk. We are definitely going to see, because I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, this is going to turn into something special, man. You know what I'm saying? Because timing beats power, right? Timing beats power. And when David Benavidez is squared up into a what I consider the accurate puncher like Demetrius Andrade, maybe he can time some shots very, very well and land a shot that wakes Benavidez up or slows him down or something like that, or keep him honest. That's what I want to. I'm curious about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious if Andrade can get his timing down early and land a nice, you know, couple of shots on Benavidez and see how Benavidez reacts to it. Because, you know, a lot of people are giving Andrade credit for being stronger than what people think. You know what I'm saying? They saying, hey, I'm not weak. He's not weak, rather. He's not weak. He can box. He's a 2 division champion. So the showdown should be, something we look forward to. Real talk. It should play itself out really nice. I would have liked more activity in the presser. We barely got any really, trash talking. I guess they have a common respect for one another, Andrade and Benavidez. So it wasn't that much trash talking going on. Even David Benavidez was much more professional this time around. Him and Charlo, they haven't always been on good terms, but he said, you know what? Hey, Charlo, Andrade, my brother, Jose, he was pretty much saying, he's thankful they're there and everything. And he wasn't really talking any trash this time. He was just keeping it professional and trying to move on to the next. Now, I can't really tell you like the prediction of Jose Benavidez, Maul Charlo. It's easy for me to say, yeah, somebody's getting stopped. I'll be lying to myself if I say I don't see Jose Benavidez stopping Maul Charlo, first of all. So I'll be lying to myself if I said somebody getting stopped. Anybody who's going to get stopped in this case is going to be Jose Benavidez. Now, you have to factor into the equation that Maul Charlo has been off crazy amount of time. How many rounds is it going to take for him to, kind of knock off that, that hiatus, that vacation a little bit and really get into the groove? What game plan do Jose Benavidez have for Maul Charlo? That's my question too. That's my biggest question. What's the game plan? How are they going to come out and approach Jamal Charlo? That's a question of mine. But can he go in there and stop Jose Benavidez at 160? Yes, I believe he can. Crawford did it at 47 in the 12th round, but yet and still, Benavidez went up to 154 and went the distance with Danny Garcia. The one positive aspect I will tell you is that Jamal Charlo is not Danny Garcia. Let's get that straight. Even though Danny Garcia has a fight supposedly at 160, dude, Jamal Charlo isn't Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia isn't Jamal Charlo. So what I'm trying to say is I'm saying that Jamal Charlo hits harder than Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? He hit harder than Danny Garcia. So if anybody's getting stopped in this equation here, I believe it's going to be Jose Benavidez. I have no idea what round it's going to be. Since he's been off so long, I will have to say around the 5th or 6th round, so to speak. But don't quote me on that because, I'm not really good on no knockout predictions and all this shit, unless it's just totally obvious out there. For Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez, is this going to go the distance? Yes, it's a great possibility this fight's going to go the distance. Great possibility. But David said that he's going out there to prove to the people, to show the people and everybody else what he's made of, like who he is as a fighter. Hold on for a second, y'all. That's what David said he's gonna prove, go out there and prove to the people. Shout out to Martin King Boxing in the building. What's good? What's good? So what round you thinking there, Mr. Golden? What round you thinking? I like Boo Boo in this fight. If he can keep Benavidez honest, but if David gets on that front foot, it'll be a long night for Andrade. Well, you know how David fights. David's right there squared up like a chalkboard. And it's going to be up to Demetrius Andrade to write his own freaking results on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to put that shit in mathematical equations and break him down round for round, because he's going to have to figure it out. It's going to have to be a science. And the one thing about Demetrius Andrade people been giving him credit for is that they love saying that he's a slick southpaw. He's a slick southpaw. But for those of you that's tuned into this, Mr. Golden, and all you other old motherfuckers out there, like myself, um, Boo Boo is 35 years old. And you're talking about him going in there with somebody who's what, still in their 20s, maybe potentially 10 years. So you take the youth and you have to play a factor into that, because we just seeing, Quentin Randall go in there and prior to the fight, it seemed like everything was good. Like he was gonna go in there and really have a solid performance, but he really looked old in there. He looked like he couldn't get his shots off. I don't know what was it, what was going on. But with Demetrius Andrade, of course, he's a different fighter, slick southpaw. Is his age gonna show up in this fight? It's the long hiatuses that he's been out of the spotlight. Demetrius Andrade had one fight in 2020. He had two fights. One was in April 2021 and then November 2021. He had two fights in 2021. And then he skipped the whole year of 2022 and had a fight in January 2023 against Amon Nicholson. And he went the distance. Okay. That's why I say that this fight with David Benavidez may go the distance if Demetrius Andrade is slick enough and has good, solid movement with punch accountability to set up his combinations and land some shots to kind of, make David Benavidez think twice about coming forward. It's hard for me to even think that Andrade would have enough to make that, to make that happen. I don't see it, bro. I'm just saying it can't. I'm not saying it can't happen, but Benavidez is one of these fighters who walk you down, and he will take punches to give punches. It's just all about is Andrade punches enough to make Benavidez slow down just a bit or second guess his forward pressure. You know what I'm saying? Be conscious of his distance with Andrade. Does Demetrius have what it takes to slow down Benavidez? We will see when they fight this weekend. We will see. But at 35 years old, let's hope that we don't see his age play out in the ring with a more younger, youthful David Benavidez. Okay. Monty King boxing on deck. What's good with it, Monty King? We're gonna eat Benavidez Chef Boyardee or what? So Monty King going straight for Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Shout out to you, man, in the building. Salute to you. Who y'all got in the chat? Who do y'all have? Y'all have David Benavidez or Andrade? All you have to do is put the first three letters of their last name. You don't have to type out the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lisa Bell's in the building. I can't see you, but shout out to the OG in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. Maul looks kind of sick, but I like him for the win. He's been looking like that for a minute. Like he looked the same way when he was down there in Bodyhead, getting trained by Roy. I mean, he's been looking like that for a minute. Seriously. It might be something. I don't know. I don't want to speculate and be totally wrong, but his eyes is just like he's not really looking like it used to be. And his eyes may have looked like that because of what he had going on or whatever before. He might have been perked up if he was drinking and whatever the case may be. He may not be on that no more. He may be on some shit to keep his head right, and it makes him a little drowsy. I don't know. They said the same thing about Errol Spence. I just hope Charlo don't come down there and supposedly look like his eyes are drowsy the way they do now, and they get up there talking about, oh man, he was stoned. He was stoned out of his mind. I don't know what's going on, but he seemed to have clear English. He cleared to still have his bravado intact, trash talking, accuracy. So, hey, we'll see how he look. I get that feeling Andrade versus David going to be a classic. I hope it is, bro. I hope you're right on that. I hope you're right. You feel me? Jessica say salute WCS. Shout out to Jessica. Salute to you, Queen. How you feeling? One love to you. Salute WCS, the hottest chat in the MFN game. Better believe it. Yes, sir. And appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the hottest chat in the MFN game on deck as always with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Anybody and everybody knows there ain't no kids over here. That's what I like about the chat. It's no kids in this chat. They just don't follow a narrative and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? They actually talk boxing for real. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. The OG on deck. What's good with it, Bruce? Ron said he liked Jamal's calm demeanor. I like it too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get up out the chair. Even when Jose was like, "You a bitch," everybody slaps you and shit like that. Everybody slaps you and you're a bitch. He didn't get out of his chair. He stayed seated. He said, "Look at him. You know, you're going to mess up the money. You're going to mess up the money." So, yeah, his calm demeanor, whatever it is going on with him, I hope he's just tired from training camp trying to cut this weight because it's Tuesday already. It's getting down to crunch time, baby. And you know what goes on Friday. Goddamn Friday is weigh-in, shouty. So you got Wednesday, Thursday, and goddamn Friday, you got to weigh in. So you already know, cutting weight is not easy. He need to just drop the belt and step back from boxing for a little while longer. Well, you have to look at it like this, Jessica, that freaking Mauricio Suleiman came out and made a public announcement that they was going to look out for the welfare of Jamal Charlo and not strip him. You know what I'm saying? Knowingly that he was going through some personal issues. So they wasn't going to strip him. This man was out over 2 years. And they didn't strip him of the WBC. But goddamn that raggedy ass IBF. And we're going to talk about another IBF situation that has occurred. You know what I'm saying? Another IBF situation has occurred, y'all. I know y'all been staying close to the mother goddamn channel in the streets, man. I know y'all been staying close. Let me keep on going through these dang comments. Maul probably show up. Maul probably show up because it's the little guy Benavidez. I mean, when have Maul not shown up, though? When has he not shown up? Except when Caleb slapped him. I mean, that would be a good fight, Jessica. I agree with you on that. Him fighting Caleb Plant, that would be a damn good fight. But do you think that he should fight Caleb Plant after a long hiatus, the way he's been on? Like, he had a long time off. Do you think it's fair to say that Benavidez is more of a solid opponent, somewhat of a tune-up to reacclimate himself to boxing? I think it is. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think it's a decent opponent. Whether it's the perfect opponent, I don't know. But truth be told, I would say after a long hiatus like that, an undersized Jose Benavidez, that's pretty good for me. That's pretty good. Not to one that's not someone that's just overly tough and shit like that. No, you go in there with Caleb Plant. One thing about it, Caleb can box now. And if Jamal's timing is off, his whole rhythm is off, yeah, Caleb Plant can goddamn pick up that WBC title for real. I can't see the brother having any problem with Jose. Nah, I don't see that either. Real talk. I don't see it. Jamal looked bigger than everyone on that stage. Now I don't know about that now. Like he had a jacket on that really wasn't a form-fitting jacket. That shit was loose, it was big, baggy. You know what I'm saying? So no, he definitely ain't bigger than David Benavidez. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He ain't bigger than the Mexican Monster. He is not bigger than the Mexican Monster at all. Shout out to Ghost. What's good with him, Mo? Demetrius is going to shock the world and put him in the dirt. Yeah, I know you're going for your guy. Real talk. It's gonna be a good fight, man. For real. It's gonna be a good fight, a good weekend of boxing. Everybody's gonna be tuned in. I like the card. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like the card. You got some solid names on that card too. You know what I'm saying? I like the freaking card. The card is extremely heavy, man. The card is extremely heavy. I'm not gonna lie. That card is a heavy card. There should be a lot of entertaining fights on there. You know what I'm saying? We get to see a lot of people step back in different divisions. I'm looking for that Sergey Lipinets Machair Rivera. You know what I'm saying? On the under. Of course, Charlo Benavidez. Even the Matias fight and Ergashev, Lamont Peterson and Garcia. I'm looking forward to all that. You know what I'm saying? Moulton, rising prospect and everything. Going in after his second professional fight. Mikado. You have a lot of big names on this. A lot of big names on this card. Andrade versus Benavidez is just like Spence versus Crawford. They count on size, but skills pay the bills. I can see how you coming up with that scenario. You know what I'm saying? Because they're saying Benavidez is going to be the bigger fighter. He's going to be the more aggressive fighter, the more present pressure fighter with Andrade, who, has movement. You know what I'm saying? Has rhythm, can box. You know what I'm saying? At distance. Put his punches together, don't pretty much square up in front of freaking David Benavidez. A lot of people say he's the most technically sound boxer out of the two. But I ain't gonna lie to you, David Benavidez can box now. Or I can say he can fight. David Benavidez can box and fight when he need to. You know, you look at his highlights. Hey, that shit gonna be a banger right there. It's gonna be a banger. That cardio is gonna be an issue. Seriously, when either you're gonna stop your the forward progress of your opposition, or you're just gonna have to depend on your cardio to be a counterpuncher. And when David Benavidez slows, which I don't really see Benavidez slowing a lot, when he's walking down his opposition. He really don't gas out to be as big as he is, man. Check out him versus Willie Nelson. So Jack, those guys tried to fight him, and also, who was a 6'3" power puncher. Okay, for sure. Demetrius Poole secured defensive stats at higher weights as per Company Box. Okay. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna pay attention, especially the ones who's really betting on that particular fight too. They're looking for fine details to bet on this main event, because this is one of the main events that people don't know who's gonna win. Yeah, they can say Benavidez is gonna win, you know what I'm saying, strictly based off him being bigger and a come forward fighter, and he has quick hands. You know what I'm saying? Then Andrade being a boxer, good movement. And he's kind of like an enigma a little bit. He's kind of like a riddle, so to speak. People been waiting for him to fight in a fight of this magnitude with someone of the stature of Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? They've been waiting. They've been calling him a slick southpaw all this time. And I believe this is going to be the fight where he's going to have to put all of that on display. Special or greatness, hopefully. Andrade has dropped every man he has ever fought 2 or more times. That's gonna be interesting, man. You just don't see Benavidez hitting the deck, but I'm saying they didn't think Spence was gonna be, mopping the canvas like that, but he was. Ghost gonna have people on here goddamn dropping their money. Hey, y'all make sure. I don't want you to blame me. Y'all make sure if you put money on either one of these fighters in the main event, that you just be patient and you make sure that's the bet you want to make. Because I don't want y'all disappearing from my chat for a long period of time because you had to go work at Target, for a whole year straight to make your money back. It ain't nothing wrong with Target. Shout out to Target, man. They got some good prices up in there. You know what I'm saying? Or the local car wash, okay? But make sure you damn process that shit first. You know what I'm saying? And make the bet accordingly now. I don't want y'all damn blaming me. Low, what's good? Said good press conference. I got David and I got Charlo, Super Matias. So Lowe's came up here and dropped his parlay up in this motherfucker. He went here, dropped a parlay up. Hey man, you better put that on the parlay, bro. You need to put that in the parlay, man. Shout out to Jones on deck. What's good? Hey, who you talking about, Ben, man? Carlos, who you talking about, Ben? Benavidez. Okay, I'm just not catching up. I caught up with myself. Okay, so Carlos has gotten Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one to put something in the chat. Thank the chat for limited participation. I said, who do you have in the main event? All you got to do is type in the first three letters of who you got. Benavidez or Andrade. You know what I'm saying? Andrade in a blood pressure war by decision. Okay. So Ron got Andrade on deck as coming out victorious. I got you. Carlos, the wife, doing great. Shout out to Dr. Paul on deck. You and the missus. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, getting stronger by the day. No doubt, man. Blessings to you all. And like I said earlier, blessings to everybody in the holiday season. You know what I'm saying? We're just outside. We're just outside maybe 30 hours a day. I ain't gonna lie, win, lose, or draw, I'm rocking with Boo Boo. After that press conference, he just had a long road. I'm rooting for him. That's what's up. Boo Boo had a different type of name, energy to him too. Like he was talking a lot more. Some of the stuff I didn't quite understand what he was saying. I heard him mention groovy, but he seemed upbeat. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was confident in going in there and writing a new chapter in his career as a 3-division champion. He seems very, very, dialed in and ready for this weekend. Real talk. Like he seems like he's feeling the moment and he's good. For real. You can't really dial in what Benavidez was thinking because he's like that most of the time. But he's going to go in there and fight. You can't really dial in what Benavidez had going on over there. Charlo has been open about his mental health issues. A guy in his tax bracket can afford professional help. Professional help usually includes medication. He might be on them Zans. Who knows? Well, who am I to say otherwise? You might be right, but I don't know about no Zans. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want to put a tag on somebody, but his eyes do look a little, droopy a little bit, like he's sleepy. It doesn't look like he's high, but then again, someone who's used to getting high may say Charlo looks like he's high. It just seems like it gives you that sleepy look that he got going on. That's what I get from it. But I understand what you're saying, Andrew. I definitely understand what you're saying, man. He has a sleepy, groggy look to him. You know what I'm saying? And, like he's very close to finding a bed at the land of Nod. 5-star. You know what I'm saying? 5-star, high-rise suite. Yes, Charlo, your bed is prepared for sleep. We have we have placed hors d'oeuvres and drinks in your room for you when you awake. You know what I'm saying? Anything you need. We have hot towels, anything. We have freshly brewed coffee when you wake up. All of that. Get the content out, y'all. Damn, just hit the like button if you're here. No doubt. No doubt. I appreciate you, Jones. Appreciate you, man. I put a couple of dollars on Demetrius Andrade. If I got him, might as well let bet on him. So you have him by just straight win, or do you have him like a special? You think Demetrius is going to get it done in early fashion, or you just have him straight up saying, okay, I think he's going to win by decision. I think he's going to win the whole fight. Charlotte Hood Sports and Boxing, salute to you. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Yeah, IBF does be thugging. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Boo Boo, too excited for this one. I'm loving it. Let's see if David can get him out of there. I also think Maul damn near crazy at this point. Jose don't see it though. Hey, Jose, look. You know, Jose know what it is. Jose done told him, don't be talking about no mental health shit. Don't say none of that, you know. Come to fight. We don't want to hit no excuses. And clearly, you know, Maul is going to be the more stronger, bigger fighter. But necessarily size don't make the fight. You know what I'm saying? But if you got a fighter like Jose Benavidez, who does have a bad leg, but he still go in there and fight, he's not going to be as mobile, right? So Charlo, you know, he may take advantage of it and fight him in the pocket if he needs to, or just try to punch him at distance and don't use all that energy up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a 10-round fight, ain't it? You know, he might just play it safe. I hope I ain't gonna mention that. I just hope it ain't what we just watched. For real. I think Maul is a better fighter than his brother. Yeah, a lot of people say that. And you know, Andrew, you may absolutely have struck you know, the bell directly at center mass. Why? Because we just witnessed Mel Charlo go in there and become the most prolific boxing track athlete that we have ever witnessed. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, some people might say this weekend proved different this past weekend, but no, we would still say that Jermell Charlo was one of the most prolific boxing track athletes we've seen in this era. You know what I'm saying? He was running. He need a couple of fights to shake back. We don't know how bad off he is. He's been off for a long time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's been off for a long time now. Now, look, I ain't gonna hold you there, Hood Sports. If he was coming back in here to fight Demetrius, I would say Jamal got some problems. If he was coming back after this hiatus and he was fighting Andrade, I was like, he got some problems. This fight is going to be different. I don't see it going the distance. I don't know. There's no way he's going to go in here and beat Andrade on the way back. And then if you heard in the press conference, Charlo said that he's now at 68. Even though he's having a catchweight fight at 163, he said, I'm now, you know, pretty much his home is going to be at 68. And he's trying to imply that he wants the winner of Andrade and Benavidez. We'll see how that works. You know how them Charlos are. They say one thing and then they say, oh, no, I'm still the champion at 60. I forgot which Charlo beat Brandon Adams, but that Charlo was a beast. Yeah, he was a beast against a fighter like Brandon Adams, though. You know what I'm saying? He was a beast against a fighter like Brandon Adams, if you really, really want to be honest. And Brandon Adams, he can fight. I'm not going to lie. He can fight. But Charlo showed him who was boss that night. You know what I'm saying? He went the distance with him. You know, Brandon showed he was tough. Real supporters hit the like button no matter what, because the big picture is getting the content out. If you rock with WCS, all you got to do is hit the like button. That's all, man. If it was that simple, bro. If it was that simple, y'all, things would be lovely. But people just come by and they say, but you know how it is, man. I appreciate y'all who do support. That's the ones I'm concerned about. I tell y'all all the time, quality over quantity. Blunt say, Jamal allegedly confirmed he's fighting Canelo on Cinco de Mayo. That's crazy. If indeed he's going to get his contractual obligation, that's I'm looking forward to it next year. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm looking forward for that. If he's saying that he's, because he said he was next up, you know what I'm saying, which he's probably not next up, but he may be next up. He said he had signed the contract. He was already locked in. So let's see how that plays itself out. Don Juan Vaughn on deck. What's good with it, Don? Let's stop in and what's going on with it, Dan? What do y'all think about this right here? Michael Benson put out that Jermell Charlo has now vacated his IBF super welterweight world title, with Bakaram and Kulke likely to be ordered for the vacant belt. Charlo was previously stripped of his WBO crown, but remains WBA and WBC world champion. So Jermell Charlo is following suit because they don't know if the IBF is running around here setting fires, and he just don't want them to be the next to burn something in his yard. So Jermell Charlo said, you know what? I'm not giving you no 3% or nothing. I'm not paying the sanctioning fees for the next fight. I'm enjoying the money that I made with Canelo Alvarez, and y'all can kiss my ass. That's pretty much what Jermell Charlo is saying. And, is it good for him to vacate the title? Yeah, why not? Why not? You don't have to pay them sanction fees. Get off of it. But also, people also going to bring into the play that Terrence Crawford it would be good if he could have fought Jermell Charlo with all three of the belts. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say Bud fights Tim Tszyu, if that would have happened, or he was able to fight Jermell first. You know what I'm saying? He gets 3 belts off Jermell, then he fights Tim Tszyu for undisputed a third time, and he get to pick up a 4th division to his legacy. He can still do that. He can still fight Jermell Charlo for the WBC, WBA, add a 4th division to his legacy. Of course, that's him being victorious. And take it what it's worth. Or, I say this all the time that Crawford can definitely leave the sport as a 5-division champion. The highest he can go is 160. The reason I say that Terrence Crawford can go up to 160 because he has the talent. He has the talent, man. He has the skill set and the boxing IQ to go into a division that's not really doing anything. 160 pounds is not doing anything. So I would say this. I truly believe that Crawford is going to leave the sport as a 5-division champion. He's going to pick up a belt at 154 and potentially pick up a belt at 160. That's my prediction. Willy Wonka tickets still be passed out. Canelo just might fight Jamal next. Yeah. Because Canelo does what he wants to, and don't too many people question him. The only time Canelo came under fire was when he tested positive for clenbuterol. That's all. And then that quickly faded away. And right now, if you bring it up, no, don't you dare bring up that. Mauricio Suleiman raised the levels. You know what I'm saying? At this time, I find that the levels was too low. Therefore, somehow, some way, Canelo training as hard as he was, he ate too much beef. So I had my team go over there and check 1,000 cows. Okay. And come to find out the levels of clenbuterol was in every one of them. So what I'm doing today, right here, right now. I'm raising the levels of clenbuterol for future fighters who are in Mexico and also love going and getting that authentic Mexican food. And therefore, I am raising the levels per my sanctioning body to 600%. Okay, because beef has to be eating over there for my fellow countrymen. Salud and muchas gracias. I hope Maul do a breakdown and cry. I hope Maul do break down and cry like his brother did if he loses. Put it this way, OG. That wasn't the first time that the male Charlo has cried. He cried after Tony Harrison took his belt. So, there's nothing wrong with your eyes sweating. His eyes sweated, what I'm saying, after losing his WBC title to Tony Harrison. Also, he wanted to come out here and prove to the people that he just didn't throw the fight. So I like to thank my team. I like to thank my team. It's been a long road in here. I fought my heart out, and the game plan just didn't work. And my Asics that I was wearing, the soles kept slipping. But I was happy I went the distance. That's what I wanted to do. I went the distance. He didn't knock me out. He didn't knock me out. But I just get emotional and get out of here. All that talking, then Maul Charlo go back there and after running for 12 rounds, he go back there and cry for the camera and then disappear. Not here all the time. It's hot timing for us in the UK, but always smash the like. I appreciate you there, Dr. Paul. Appreciate you. At least they are making two guys fight for the strip belt. I feel like that should be the norm. Andrew, let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question, man. I just need to ask you a question, man. You are a boxing aficionado, man. I just need to ask you a question, and hopefully it does not any way, shape, or form degrade the level of intelligence that you are currently holding in your psychological reservoir. Are you ready for this question there, Andrew? I appreciate what you said. At least they are making two guys fight for the strip belt. Now, if the IBF is making these guys fight, and that's following Jermell Charlo, who was on a hiatus, and then nobody touches freaking belts. Then they let that man go in there and fight Canelo, and the IBF didn't touch his belt. I must ask you, why did the IBF jump in a FedEx buggy and speed their ass over there to Omaha just to drop off that goddamn letter to strip Crawford, to request that he go in negotiations and they have that man stripped? Why couldn't they just wait? They waited for everybody else. Why was it different? You know what I'm saying? Why was it different? Why was this different? They couldn't wait to after the Spence Crawford fight. Why was the IBF going so expeditiously after Crawford to take that IBF title? That's all I want to know, man. Do you have any more clarity on that? Has anybody been able to somehow retrieve, extract that particular letter that was sent over there? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know. I'm still confused, a little bit delirious about how can you backdate it to the 29th and make history for the wrong reason. 3 champions on the same day and the same belt in the same division. How is that possible? Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, and Jaron Ennis was the IBF world champion on July 29th. How are you backdating that to the 29th? I need to see some timestamps on that. I see why Crawford will want Canelo next. It's the only undisputed left. Where he get it or not, man, I don't know, bro. I'm not giving up on it, but it just seems like Canelo does what Canelo does. He makes the calls, he moves the way he chooses, and can't nobody do anything. I just look. They asked Canelo who do we have winning out of Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. He said Terrence Crawford, right? But then when he beats him the way he does, and he wants to fight with Canelo, then Canelo say he's not going to give him credit. He's too small. Knowingly that Canelo Alvarez has fought some questionable opposition himself where he didn't get any credit for. They put Aldi Yildirim on a promissory note and fought him just because. Because, bro, they fought him. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why did you fight James Kirkland? Why? Dude was already in a bad place already. You know what I'm saying? You went in there and fought James Kirkland knowing that you was going to knock that man out. Rebel on deck. What's good with it? Male dropping belts. Now Bud will never become 3 times. He will become 4 division champion. You know what I'm saying? Or potentially, if he wants to campaign at 154, it'll be a lot of fights there for him. But I don't think he's going to go for title. If I had to give any advice to Bud, I would just say pack on 2 more divisions. Pick up a title 154 and 160. You leave here 5 division champion, 2-time undisputed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many umpteen amount of world champions, that he will have. And he's already a Hall of Famer, bro. Jamel don't want to give his own Texas fans a Crawford fight. I think he wants to prove he's the goods to get in the Hall of Fame by facing Crawford. Let me reread that. Jamel don't want to give his own Texas fans a Crawford fight. I think he wants to prove, okay, yeah, for sure. I see where you at with it, Ron. Just a caveat off that, I believe that would be excellent for Crawford to fight Jamel Charlo in Texas. You talking about like the fans and everything, because Mel Charlo, he ain't no pay-per-view anything, right? So, but people will come out and support him. You know what I'm saying? Even with him taking a loss in a higher division, 2 divisions higher than his current weight class he was in, people come out and support him. And they don't like Crawford, so they'll definitely come there and see how Crawford's going to perform against Jamel Charlo. I like that idea. He should be trying to prove to them. He should fight, if he wanted to fight him in Texas. That's if Crawford wants to fight. If he approves the fight to be in Texas. Hey, let me ask you this. Who's the A side between Crawford and Mel Charlo? Who's the A side? They're new. The odds of Bud losing his belts in the ring was close to 0, so they may move outside the ring. Did they? Whoo, boy. They hurry up and got those tactical vehicles on the road, didn't they? Did they? They hurry up and invaded Omaha to get that damn leather out there and get it back. And then not only that, they got the leather back and say, we're going to backdate it to the 29th. And WCS is puzzled. I'm like, how can you backdate it to the day that he won the title? As if he didn't win the title. As if Spence came in there with the title. So who did you take it from exactly? Obviously you taking it from Crawford by submitting a letter to him. But that's all clear. All right. That's crystal clear. But I have a dilemma here that you backdated it to the 29th. That's my dilemma, though. I understand who you extracted it from. But my dilemma is, Why did you backdate it to the 29th though? You're trying to say while Crawford was giving post-fight interviews, he was no longer undisputed? Are you serious? Is that what you're telling me? He won the title, but while he was giving post-fight, per your letter, you're trying to say that you was stripped. He's been stripped of that moment. Yeah, he won it, but by the time he left T-Mobile Arena, y'all, Crawford was no longer undisputed. That's crazy, man. I need some clarification of that bullshit. That toilet, water, and a quick trip. I need some clarity to that bullshit that IBF just pulled. Seriously. I need some clarity. Because you're trying to say that man was in a freaking post-fight conference and the IBF was plotting and scheming. If you're going off their last fight, Bud the A side. Okay. He says Bud's the A side based off his last fight. But we can't go off Jermell Charlo's last fight with Canelo because it was 2 divisions higher. You know what I'm saying? And then if we go all the way back on a freaking kite, we would go back to Brian Castano. I see where you at with it. Based off the last fight, yeah. You know, Crawford had the more recent fight. Pound for pound fighter on the list. Brian Castano is now on the list. So, okay, you're saying the A side. I can see where that's at. You know what I'm saying? Matching everything together. You know, going from, you know, knocking out Spence. A pound for pound fighter. You know what I'm saying? Undefeated. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Mel Charlo, he's going to say, this is my division. When you tried to call me out, I was busy. So since I was busy, I'm telling you that when it comes down to it, I'm the A side up here. You don't run nothing up here. You ain't signed the PBC. I've been putting in work up here. I fought Canelo. And look, in a losing effort, don't y'all ever think that Jermell Charlo won't throw Canelo's name up there. He can say, you ain't did shit. You ain't did shit. You ain't did shit. I fought Canelo. Mel Charlo throw some shit up there like that. Then Bomac could be like, man, stop that shit. Stop it right goddamn now before I take my belt off. Stop. You better not bring Canelo name up here. The way you look, you got the audacity to bring up Canelo name. You have the motherfucking audacity. I need to take my belt off right now. Just like Crawford told goddamn Errol Spence. I'm gonna take my belt off. And what Errol do? He got all freaking emotional. Ron said Crawford in Omaha after the Spence butt whooping. Jermell now in Texas. A-side bigger in Omaha. But it's a Vegas type of fight, maybe. You think Crawford and Jermell? Yeah, you know what the fights has been going on? With the fights has been going on in Vegas, especially what we just witnessed in this prior card. Yeah, you know, Terrence, you know, Crawford and Charlo can fight in Vegas. Yeah. Can they fight in the T-Mobile Arena? Is it possible for them to fight in the T-Mobile Arena? But shout out to Jermell Charlo for vacating that belt. I'm not mad at it, but I just would have liked for him to give us an indication that he really was motivated to face Crawford. Even though Crawford can't attend right now because he has Errol Spence. It would have been good to say that, you know, Jermell Charlo said, okay, I'll fight Crawford once he get done with Spence. And Crawford could have fought him for all 3 of the titles. And then, you know, Bud could have turned around and fought Tim Tszyu. And then, you know, Charlo would have moved up to 160. But he don't want to acknowledge his boxing luminary as being a worthy, reputable opponent. So he want to continue to talk about he was busy. You know what I'm saying? He don't have time for the little guys. Sit down, humble yourself, learn how to be the challenger and take less money. And then, by the way, build your own cross and hang yourself on it because, you know, I don't have no respect for you there, Crawford. That's pretty much what Mel Charlo is up at with it. Niggas institutionalized for real. Jamel was a Canelo survivor. He bring up Canelo too, but I can see Crawford roasting him. Yeah, say, man, you didn't do anything. You was just there. You know what Crawford said to him already? He said, man, that's a damn shame. You went out bad. You went out bad. So that's probably, you know how long they freaking sit up here and blackball Boo Boo, you know, for what he did. They weren't gonna never try to fight that man. Now the crazy part about the Charlos and what they was thinking about it is the fact that he was sitting right beside him, and then Mar Charlo was looking at Andrade like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Hey, you better be careful. That might be your opponent next. And look, Andrade know that y'all kept that man on the outside. Y'all try to ostracize. Well, y'all did ostracize that man. You know, that might be Jamal Charlo's next opponent. After all these years, you know, Boo Boo may get the opportunity to face, you know, Mar Charlo. Seriously. He may get the opportunity. But shout out to the hottest chat in the game, the MF game, A-Side official. Man, you already know. We should do it again. Shout out to everyone who hit the like button, click, share, and sub. I appreciate y'all. Continue to be the hottest MF and chat in the game. I'm out. Peace.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.